Hello everybody. Salam alaikum, Mohamed. Can you
Hello.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody.
Hello everybody. So welcome to another live IKO training series. Today I am still Vincent and I am here with Mohamed Rahman. Sorry for the pronunciation. He's in Egypt, and maybe you can introduce a little bit yourself, Mohamed, to everybody.
Yeah, my name is Mohamed A.Rahman. I am the assistant trainer for the IKO, and I have been doing water sports all my life. So I don't feel like I've been working any single day in my life before. It's just all about water sports and having fun on the beach, sailing, windsurfing, wakeboarding, and then in the end, of course, kiting, starting from the very early beginning and then becoming an IKO instructor like 2004.
Mohamed, I've lost you. Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry about that. So it seems we have lost Mohamed. So I can have a quick chat about what's been new lately at IKO. Mohamed, I don't know if you listen to me. Yeah, you still. Are you here? You back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can hear you. Sorry about that. We lost you for a little while. You can continue.
Yeah. So I don't know what was the last thing you heard from me.
You were talking about your first stuff as instructor, IKO instructor.
Yes, so that was in 2004, and then we continue teaching in different places, and then lately, like 1.5 years ago, I became the assistant trainer with the IKO and started the first steps now to the pro career with the IKO team.
So the assistant trainer, you can tell a little bit more about that. Maybe I will just one thing I forgot to say to everybody who is watching. The point of this live is like the other live is to give information as much as we can from Egypt, from Mohamed, from myself, from IKO, anything. And you are welcome to ask any question either on YouTube channel or Facebook, wherever you are watching the live. You can ask any question and we're going to try to answer it the best we can as soon as you ask it. So feel free to ask them. So yeah, the assistant trainer, can you say a little bit about that?
Sure, it's a very interesting course actually that takes 5 days, and it's the line that you have to cross between being an amateur or just doing it for fun, doing kite surfing for fun, and then you decide, okay, I would like to start to have it as a career, or to start to have a job as an instructor. And then the first thing you have to do is to attend to the assistant training course. And it's also for some people that they like to get more knowledge. So it's not only who can join, who want to work as an instructor, but also some of our guests, and they come just for holiday, and they are also interested to push their limit and to get more knowledge and to get more information about the weather, about the aerodynamic, and about all these other things that usually you don't take it in the recreational courses. So if you like to get a lot more information and to be prepared to be a professional kite instructor, this will be the first step for you. This will be the gate for this new world for you. And this is 5 days. We prepare you for your ITC, to become an instructor. And then you start to see the kite surfing from a complete different angle, and then you can hear a lot of information. This 5 days is packed with a lot of information that is very, very interesting. And then you will be sitting every day saying, oh, okay, this is how it works, and this is I didn't know that before. This is interesting. And it's also good because it's a group thing that you will be up to. We can do it from 2 people, maximum 8 people, and then it will be a lot of discussion, a lot of different experience. Everyone can share his experience from before and all this. So this is very, very interesting, and will prepare you very well for your future career.
Yeah, it's if people just join. Mohamed was talking about the assistant course. that many people that do it, as you said very well, become instructor, but also it's a great course if you just want to learn more about kitesurfing techniques in general. It helps you to become a better kiter. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, in the beginner course, usually we don't have enough time to cover all these topics. So these are covered in the assistant course. And we welcome everyone to follow this course so you have this information. So after that, what can you say about the kiteboarding in general in Egypt, in El Gouna?
Well, Egypt is having a lot to offer for kite surfing because we have a lot of really good condition on the Red Sea, especially like you have in Gouna and Hurghada and Safaga. So these are the 3 hot spots at the moment where you will find a lot of kite schools, a lot of IKO kite stations as well, where you can learn, and it offer you almost 300 days of good wind and sunshine the whole year. So Egypt usually is one of the really, really nice places, and it's easy. Break. Hello?
Hello, yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, you say Egypt is beautiful and it's easy, and then it cuts.
I'm back now. You hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, good. So you will find actually very easy condition, and it's a very reliable place to fly to get a kite holiday or to get your course done. So most likely, if you come for a week, you will have at least 4 or 5 days of good wind that you can spend in the water and not spend on the beach waiting for a wind and stuff. So the most used kites here are 7, 9, and 12, and this is showing like we're mostly having good strong wind here all over the year. So you have like around 300 days with good wind. And then all the schools here, they have really good, easy setup for also new people to the sport, up to the bro level, where you find a lot of flat water. The only thing is missing by us is waves. That's what we are missing very much here. But then you will have perfect condition for foiling, for strapless and flat water, for beginner, for intermediate, and also advanced.
Yeah, and you mentioned the flat water. It's important because many people they will have the factor of progression because the wave doesn't help at the beginning. For some people, maybe they don't know about kiteboarding. That's a bit the difference. Kiteboarding is the same, but it's easier on flat water. And the Red Sea, Egypt is known for that, also for diving, but for good flat water conditions for kiteboarding. Big swimming pool you have over there. I've been once in Safaga, and it was amazing. Usually you have small spots around the world that are flat, but for you guys, it's the whole sea.
Yes, it's really perfect, easy, nice, and everybody likes it. And also the water is warm all over the year, so it's never really dropping than 21 degrees, the water here. So it's always nice, warm, and sunny. So it's a good place. We invite all the people, they never tried Egypt before, to come and visit Egypt. And it's also the location is very easy to reach from everywhere in the world, that it's with short flights. So it's nice, easy, convenient, and then all nice accommodations around, easy, close to the spots. So, and then you can really enjoy.
Maybe you can mention a little bit, of course, because knew in the past you had some political issues. Sometimes it was not good to travel to Egypt. Is it now a good time? And also with the COVID, how is the situation? Do you have to do quarantine and things like this?
Yeah, sure. By 2011, we had the revolution, and this was very bad for the business and for tourism in general. But that very quickly recovered. After less than 6 months, the tourism have been back even better than before, and mostly all the hotels everywhere, it was fully booked. And since this time until now, the COVID started, and then we started to have the low business and the lockdown again, like everywhere else in the world. That was from March, but then by the beginning of October, everything is open again. But the hotels here also, they make something different. So they only allow 50% of the capacity of the hotel to be open. So the hotels are open again in Egypt now, but they are not open with full capacity. So it's only open with 50% of its capacity to make sure that the social distance, its practice, and all the procedures and the people have enough space. And there is no place now in Egypt is crowded, because the maximum capacity for the hotels is 50%. And also for now, it's very good for the stations where you can go. Most of the spots are not crowded, so it's a like very nice and easy time to practice. Also, the airport is very easy in, out, and then nothing is crowded now. So it's a good time, of course, especially now in Europe. It starts getting cold and rain and fog and all this. So in 4 hours flight, you can be just in this beautiful kite surfing paradise here.
But my question is, I don't know if you know, but because of course that you know that in Europe now they are in lockdown again. Do you know if somebody traveling from, let's say I'm from France, so I go to Egypt and I come back, do I have to do a quarantine or something like this, or it's all right at the moment?
Well, it's different from one country to another. So first of all, in order for anyone to come from outside of Egypt, well, regardless which nationality, to come into Egypt, even Egyptians, when they like to come back into Egypt, so you have to bring a test with you and to show that it's negative. And if you don't have this test with you, you can make it upon arrival in all the touristic airports here, and it costs only $30. So if you come to Egypt without a test, you can make it directly upon arrival, and it costs only $30. This is provided from the Egyptian government. And then you can go directly to where you are staying, and then you get the result by phone in 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good. So it's easy to travel, and in spite of the situation, it's easy to travel to Egypt right now in end of 2020, magical year. Huh?
Yeah, sure. It's actually a very good time also for the people to spend Christmas and New Year away from the cold, away from the rain, away from the lockdown and all this panic situation that is happening in Europe. So if you want to have a break from this and you want to have some sun during, like, you spend a sunny Christmas and New Year, this is perfect place for you to be.
So you go to the Duotone Center in Gouna and you go see Mohamed. Maybe you can show the little tour. Don't go too far away from your router.
Yeah.
Connection. Maybe you can show the people your very nice center over there.
Yeah, sure. We can do that. I can show you around. So here, this station is very, very new. We just created it like in the beginning of the year, but then we had to close again. So we have our shop behind me, where you can find a lot of cool toys, where you can play with all these toys in the water. You have all the new boards, all the wrench from 2020 from Duotone. And here you have our storage room, where you can have all the wrench from the kites, harnesses, wetsuits, everything is brand new.
How many kites do you have?
We have around 75 kites. And
when
you have
2021?
It's 2021 is coming in the way. And then here you have the swimming.
Remember before.
No, here then you have the swimming pool, and then you have our storage room in the back if you come with your own equipment.
Nice.
And so around here, and then the spot is directly on the front of the station here. It's super flat water, best spot in Gouna here. So all the riders come from all around the centers just to visit us and to ride in front. And it's also a very good place for learning for people new to the sport, because it gives them the possibility for standing area, huge standing area with lagoon. And we teach here only private and semi-private. So the complete center here is trying to push the limit as much as possible to the maximum luxury, privacy, and the high end of what we are doing in kite surfing. So you find all really top equipment, a lot of experienced instructors, minimum 5 years in the business to teach with so many positive hours. And we teach only private and semi-private, nothing, no big group, maximum 2 people with 1 teacher.
Yeah, that's the reason of that is like private the better, no? it's a bit more expensive for anyone who learns, but at the end of the learning experience, you have to spend less money because you have an instructor that is fully with you, or half, semi-private is 2 person. Yes, yeah, and so yeah, the progression like this is faster. We often have the question from people who don't know kiteboarding, and they say, how do I recognize a great school? My first answer is often this, is like if you see somebody teaching 10 students at the same time, only one person, or even 6, only one instructor, is probably not as good as he may look. Probably a good talker, but not the best one, because he's taking just a huge amount of money at the same time. But if you see an instructor with only 1 person or 2 maximum, this starts to be something much more higher in terms of quality, right?
Yeah, sure. So for all the people watching us, and if they are looking and thinking to start kitesurfing and looking for where to do that, actually, it's very important not to look only for the price and where is it cheaper, because then more in the details, you can see that it can be cheaper, but then you will find yourself in a group of 6 people, and then you will not really learn or make a lot of progress. So it's not only about the price, and you have to see also the quality of the place, who will be teaching you, how much experience they have, and the equipment they use. All these things is very, very important, that when you pay, so it's value for money. Sometimes, yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but make sure you will make a lot of progress. You will have a lot of focus from your instructor, and then you can really make the best out of your time and your holiday.
Yeah, and you can be the best instructor in the world, but if you have 6 persons, my hour, I'm the best instructor of the world, but I have 6 persons, so you will have 10 minutes of me if you get lucky. Because if someone gets in bigger trouble and may go 15 minutes with him to rescue him, and in the meanwhile you're alone. So that's when you waste your money. So it's cheaper to listen for 1 hour, but at the end you pay more expensive the time you have the instructor. So we always advise here at IKO to do as much private as possible. Sometimes group of 2, husband and wife maybe, or 2 friends could work this way also, but no more. Otherwise, then it's not, the quality gets down. And you mentioned something very important, is to check beforehand the experience of the instructor. So we have a very good tool at IKO for that. For every IKO school and instructor, you can really go and check any school, any instructor online, directly in the IKO page, and you can find the ratings from their former students. So you will easily see if the guy or the girl teaching you or is about to teach you is a good one of experience, because of course, like teaching kiteboarding or like in any field in the world, the experience is the value. You have to grab the good training. So we are talking this good training, and that's somebody that has worked with this training 2, 3, 4 years. It's much better than 2 days, of course.
Yeah, of course. So this all makes a difference in the end for your course. So the equipment makes a difference. And the very good thing about the IKO website is when you just go there, you can visit and you can see all the schools and you can see all the instructors and you can see everyone is having his own page, and then you can read about the school and you can see the review. So everything is transparent, and then you can see this is very, very nice and good system compared to other organizations where a lot of things are missing.
Yeah, and we try to improve. There's still many things to improve, and we are on that, but it's getting better and better. Just a reminder for people, if they just join us, we're here with Mohamed live on YouTube and Facebook, and if you have any question, you can ask. For the moment, no question. So we're going to continue to chat, but guys, girl, if you want to ask anything, we have a bit of experience between the both of us here, and we'll be happy to share in case you have any doubts. Something I just wanted also to mention about IKO this year that is new and it's a good thing, it's the insurance. Yep. So you have to know that nowadays, since if I recall well, it was July or June, if you are a pro member, you have 3 kinds of insurance. The basic, the plus of premium, of course, the more you pay, the more you are covered. You have all this information on the IKO, so it's good also for students, because students know for sure. Before it was already about the case, but harder for IKO to check. Nowadays it's mandatory, So you're sure at 100% that any IKO instructor you see, you find that is insured, and it's good. Usually, if you follow the lesson plan of IKO, we have very few accidents, but of course it's something that can happen, and if that happens, you want to be covered. And this insurance is also possible for kiters. So if you're a kiter out there, you don't want to teach, you're not teaching, you can still have a membership, IKO membership, Kitesurf membership, and you've got insurance, and the insurance, of course, is good because you are insured if you are here in Canada, and tomorrow you go see Mohamed in Egypt, and you are still insured, because that's the issue most of the time with insurance. They maybe only insure you for your country, and we know that kiteboarders, they like to travel, so that's the good thing with this insurance.
Sure. So this for us, it's very important here in the school as well. Once the people arrive and they like to rent equipment, for example, so we highly recommend them the insurance to be insured as well when they are renting. And it's for us, we make it now a must that nobody is renting without a license. So everybody who is renting, he must have a license, because renting kite equipment is like renting a car now. So it's the same. It can be a weapon as well. So it's not possible that you can use it without having a license. So it's also good for all the people that they have been kiting since many years, and they are very good jumping, going upwind and doing all these things, but they don't have a kite license. So it's also good to get yourself certified directly, so to be able to kite safe for yourself and for the people around as well. And then you will be able to rent kite material anywhere.
Yeah, and in case of you break the material of somebody, that can happen, unfortunately, that happens in time, you're covered. So, of course, as you mentioned, it's like, it makes sense when we talk about the car, and nowadays the kiteboarding is not a new sport anymore, it's evolving, so it shall make sense also when you go kiting. When you go skiing in Europe, I've been skiing many years, they ask you for insurance. Most of the time it's included in the license, which makes sense also, because unfortunately over there too, you can have sometimes break a leg or something, or break some equipment, and it's better if the insurance covers it. So we are doing that now with the insurance, and as Mohamed said, it's good, especially if you rent, so then you don't have issues if it gets damaged or you damage the equipment of somebody else.
Yeah, this is very important.
I guess the Duotone kites, they are so good that you never break them, no?
all kites in the world are fragile, and you can break it. Of course, there's some brands are better than other. Of course, this one is very durable. The Duotone kites is very durable, and even now with the new line of 2021, you will find a lot of durability and the SLS kites, and then you will see a lot of kites that you can difficult to be damaged and to break. So of course it's improving. All the materials from all the brands is improving more and more, and it's completely different than what we started with. I remember we started with the Wibika kites back then, long time ago, and you can see then how the development between all the kites. And now the kites are easy, are super safe. Like when I started, there was no quick release, there was nothing. And now you are in 3 seconds completely safe. Just make sure you learn with certified IKO instructor who will make it very easy and simple and safe for you. Our main job here is actually the safety. So to make sure that everyone on the beach is safe and practice and learn and make the best out of their time.
Yeah, and that's good you mentioned this, the Wibika. So for people, younger people who don't know, those were the first invented kites for kiteboarding. Really, because before, long time ago, there have been other trials, but the real one is there. And as you said, it was not safety at the beginning. I always say this is the plus side and the downside. The plus side, of course, the equipment has evolved and is safer, but of course, non-questionable. But the downside of this is that sometimes, with some people, the equipment gets so safe, so people believe kiteboarding is safe all the time. So you don't need to have an instructor, you don't need to have a helmet when you learn, you don't need to have a beyond safe, because yes, you have the bar, you have to the bar, stop, then you have the quick release for people who don't know. It's something, you eject your kite and you are in safety. So people believe, you never have an accident. There is much less accidents, which is good. But be always careful, especially for those who have never tried, the first 6 to 10 hours are really, really important to learn with an instructor. Then from there, if you have learned well, then you're happy to go and you will be in safety most of the time. It's almost impossible if something too serious happens to you. But those first hours, it's like, again, I like to compare to driving a car because with the car, it all makes sense. You will never drive a car alone for the first time. You will always have a help. Usually with an instructor. In some countries, it can be your father or your brother, maybe, but it's still somebody that puts you in safety and ensure you will never take a car alone or a motor alone. So for the kiteboarding, it should be the same.
Yeah, sure, 100%. I agree with you. So it's never recommended to buy equipment and to start by yourself. So this is completely no-go. At least the first couple of hours, you have to make it with an instructor who will explain to you. And it's completely different from one place in the world to another, because then you have areas that are crowded or with a wave sure break. And so for every location, it's different. So you have wind obstacles in some areas, you have then the wave sure break, and then some areas you have a lot of problems with wind or with current, or so for every place is different. So if you learn with an instructor, you hear me?
Yeah, I've lost you. Yeah. When you say if you learn with an instructor.
Yeah, for every location, you will have different issues in this location that an instructor will introduce you to this danger first, and will explain it to you and how we can avoid it and how we can deal with it. So there is a lot of things as a non-kiter or even a kiter without so much experience you will not see. But an instructor is trained and is learning is how to discover these things on the spot and how to deal with it. So for a lot of other details, small details, so normal kiter or even like people kiting and traveling. So even for all kiters that watching us, when they go to a new location, the first thing you should do is go to the station, ask the people to give you an introduction about this spot, what is dangerous here, where I should go kiting, where I should not. Even if you have been kiting for 10 years or more, you should always do that. So whenever I go to a new location, I have to go to the people and listen to the local, listen to the people running the station in this area, and they will advise you, and this will save 90% of the fun that you want to have in the water.
That's very well said, Mohamed. I could not agree more with you on two things, especially the first one when you say, hey, be careful, spots are different. Of course, if you learn in Egypt, for example, and you come here at Cabarete, the only thing is the same is you have a kite flying, maybe, you can exerting a little bit, but it's true, it's another story. So it's important to always, and we also do that. I have some experience, you have some experience too, and when I travel, I don't have a big ego, man. I just go to the store, right? The school. If you go to the Duotone Center, I will go to you and say, hey, Mohamed, just let me know. And it's 1 minute because you just share the experience. Hey, don't go there. This is beginner, so it's nice. You're not going there. This is advanced. Over there, you have a great spot, and you can really do some very nice jump because the wind kick it right. Over there, be careful. You have a rock or something. That's cool over there. It's very busy here, and that's it. And enjoy your session. And end of the story. So that's a very good recommendation you do there. Because sometimes, unfortunately, we see people, it happens a lot at Cabaret, it's pretty complicated spot. And you're teaching and you see somebody you never knew, and he goes into the water, okay. You see he knows how to kite. 10 minutes after he's in trouble, you have to go help. And then the first thing you say, you know, that rock was over there. Yeah, it's like, man, you know. It's an open sea, here is the ocean. But still, even if you go in a lake, a river, or the beautiful Red Sea, you may have a rock, you may have hazard, anything. It will change depending on the tide also. High tide up, your paper is far away, low tide, and right under the surface of the water. So it's very good advice to get there.
Yeah, so it's just to make it short and simple, the more information you will collect about the spot, the more fun and safety you will have on this spot. So that's what we try to tell everyone.
And you avoid any accident because you are on holiday probably and you don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure actually we were talking about all this, but I'm pretty sure that your spot is very safe. Maybe you can tell us a little bit how did you organize as an IKO center and at Duotone Center the safety of your own spot. Give some tips if you have some people with less experience that are watching and you want to share some stuff.
Yeah, of course. So here it's very important that you have to check the tide. This is one of the very important. So of course, every morning we have to check the wind and the tide, and then inform our guests how is the condition, what is the forecast for today, and when would be the best time of the day to take place for the lessons and also for the riders. And then we have the area in front of us here with a small sandbar where the lessons are taking place. And then we have a lot of big lagoon for the people to ride with flat water, or then outside with choppy water. Then like 300, 400 meters out far away from the beach, then you have the deep water for all the people like to go foiling and to practice other sports with deeper water as well. Then we have the rescue boat is directly in the front that is ready all the time. And we have also our people on the beach for landing and launching. And what we try always also to advise that the first 50 meters from the beach is just for landing and launching. So all the guys, they like to come closer and make all the jumps and to take all the photos. And so the first 50 meters from the water line is for landing and for launching, because if you come close, something goes wrong. If the wind is side onshore, then you will end up on the beach that nobody really want to have this. But otherwise here, there is no really obstacle. The wind is coming very clean. It's coming side shore or side onshore. So it's coming from the sea, and it makes it very safe. Also, if something goes wrong and you drift, so you come back by yourself back to the beach. So, and it's very, very safe, very easy, flat water. So it's nice. Here we also recommend for the new to the sport or somebody just arrived in the beginning, we recommend in some areas, if they like to go kiting, then they have to use the shoes. So in some area, if they stay in this area, then they don't need to use the shoes. But if they like to go around a little bit far and discover around, so it's better to take shoes for the first 2-3 days until they get familiar with the spot, and then they can get rid of it, because most of the people, of course, they don't like to ride with the shoes, with the foot strap.
Yeah, and I guess over there you don't need a wetsuit, so it's better to ride in board shop, because if you go riding in my country in winter, you have to put shoes, right? But in Egypt, it's warm, so it's cool to be just with a light ride maybe in board shop and enjoy the sun.
Yeah, just like December, January, and February. This is the months when we use the wetsuit. We are a little bit spoiled about that, so we use a wetsuit just to December.
I thought it was all year long.
Yeah, it is sunshine the whole year, but the wind, actually, sometimes the wind is colder than the water. So the water is never dropping than 20-21 degrees. That is the Red Sea is famous of that. The water is always warm, but just the air temperature sometimes is dropping to 16, 17, 18, so that the air is colder than the water.
All right. Something I didn't know. Where is the wind coming from? Which direction in Egypt?
It's usually north. So the wind is, yeah, like 90% of the year, the wind is coming from the north.
Yeah, so that's why it can get colder also, because it brings colder air from Russia and over there, I guess.
Yes.
Countries, European countries. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
And you said something interesting also. Sometimes people ask, just want to point about it. You talk about the boat, the safety of the boat. So every IKO center shall have a solution like this. And you also mentioned the wind, which is side on side, and brings the people back. So that's something I often say, the best tool as instructor when you work, and also the best safety, because usually you always have boats with around schools, even non-IKO schools. But if you have a wind that comes from the sea, of course you can ride with offshore with condition. Then on this condition, you have to be 100% sure there is a boat, and you have to make a deal with them before you get into the water, knowing how much it will cost you to bring it back, because it may happen. But when the wind blows from the sea towards the land, so we call it onshore, side onshore condition, it brings back. So as you mentioned, you just crash, your line break, and you eject your quick release, and you just on one line, and it will slowly bring you toward the shore doing nothing. So that's the best safety. And especially if you go to places like, I don't know, Brazil, or there's for sure some places in Egypt that you want to kite alone, not in front of a school. So then there is no boat. Choose a location where the wind comes from the sea toward the ocean, right?
Sure, yeah. If the wind is offshore and there is no boat, there is nobody is watching you, it's never recommended to go kiting. No matter if you are the best kiter in the world and you have the offshore condition, nobody's on the beach watching you. You never know. The kite can lose air, the line can break, so you can not do much in this case.
And you can have the Murphy's Law also. It's like everything's gonna go wrong the day there is no boat. So we don't recommend that.
No, highly.
How many, to go back a bit about the center over there, how many people it moves generally? Let's forget 2020 because I guess it's an horrible year in terms of number, but usually when on a normal year, how many instructors you have, how many clients, students you have during the whole year maybe?
Yeah, this station here is very, very new. We actually opened only 6 weeks before the lockdown of the Corona, but it was super successful. So this new product of really exclusive, high-end service that we offer here, we found that a lot of people are looking for something like this, and they like to come to us. So the first 6 weeks we opened, it was very super successful. A lot of people join us, and we have been working with around 6-7 instructors in the week. And as I mentioned before, also we only teach private and semi-private. So there was a lot of people taking lesson, and you can see that this product was actually missing in the market. Gouna is very famous for kiting since many years, and there's hundreds of kiters that are arriving to Gouna. There is around 7-8 stations here in Gouna, but what we created here is a little bit different, because this is one of a few places where you sleep directly on the spot. So the hotel is directly behind the station, so you don't have to go with a shuttle bus or to take a tuk-tuk in the morning to go to the kite spot. So you wake up, you have your breakfast, and then off you go directly on the spot. This makes it very convenient. And also, if you are sitting waiting for the wind, so you sit around the pool, have the theory lessons with your instructors, and then whenever the wind is picking up, you are directly in the water. So we can see from the 6 weeks that we have been running the station before the lockdown that it was super successful. Just you open a station 6 weeks, not so much advertisement yet, but then it was full. Everything is running, a lot of people, and really happy. And the wind was also good. So we opened, that was usually for us a low season, but it was fantastic. And now we started again by the beginning of October, even with all these restrictions and all this difficulty for traveling, it's doing okay. So we hope that it continue going like this, so we can survive this COVID time until it's over, and then we go back to our normal life, and then we can welcome so many people. So the hotel here is also a completely new concept in Egypt. It's only 100 room, and they are not really rooms. It's a little bit bigger than that. So it's like villas and suites, and you have your own pool directly in front. So it's perfect place for the COVID time, where you can really have your own privacy and not crowded places. And a lot of people now, they even come from Europe to stay for a long time here and to work from home, and they make their home here in Egypt so that they can go kiting, and then they can do their work from the computer. So
yeah, that's a pretty good idea. That's a pretty good idea. And yeah, as you say, it's of course particular year. So I guess for a company like you that is new, a center that is new, and you survive such a year and you're still working kind of okay, then it's a great step, I would say. So that's good for you guys. And we have a question over there that just popped up from Mohamed Golden point for all kiters. Ask about the spot and the kite zone, please. You will always find us by your side and work for your safety. Thanks, IKO King. So yeah, it's pretty much what we said before, no?
Yeah.
The safety and the organization of the spot. And what maybe what differentiates us from many other organizations or from somebody that has no training is like to me, maybe you will agree with me or no, we'll see. But to me, the water start is something that people pay for and something we're gonna make for sure. But it might be the less important thing because it's the fun. So we want the fun and we're gonna have the fun. But the first thing, very important, is to not have an accident. So I'm going to ensure, me as IKO instructor, I'm going to ensure you have the fun and be safety, because then the fun continues. Because of course, if you have a lot of fun, and then you break a leg, this is the end of the holiday, and it's pretty sad. So we want to avoid that. And as Mohamed say on the comments, ensuring the sport, the safety, the kite zone, it's what we do and what people maybe they don't see, but it's very important.
Yeah, sure. That's actually what the IKO stand for, is safety, 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 that all the people can practice. And it's also all the new update for the standard and pushing for more safety. Short line is mandatory for teaching now, the short leash and connected to the front, all these things. Some people, they take it in the beginning, like, why do I have to do this? Why it's a mandatory? Why it's a must? But by the time they start using it, they see how useful it is, and it's not just coming because somebody in the IKO wake up in the morning and said, "Oh, let's make the hello."
Yeah.
We're back.
I lost a little bit, but you're back. You can continue.
Yeah. So it's sometime with the instructors when you tell them, okay, we have to use the short line. It's a must. It's not anymore an option, and the short leash in the front, and so. It's all to make it more safe, to make it more fun, to make it less accident, and all these things have been tested so many times in so many directions, and you just receive the final result, simple and easy for you to use it. And that's the cool thing about the IKO, that it's sharing all the opinion from all the people around the world, and that's how it's improving and getting better and better every year.
Yeah, exactly. And for the short line, you made a really good point. I always say the same thing you just said. Say, hey guys, we're not here to bother you. I'm not here to make your life harder. It's the opposite. I'm here to make your life easier. And we have tested this thing. Again, compared to the car, when you learn how to drive a car, you're not going to learn on a Ferrari. That will be learning with kite with long lines. Ferrari is for a good pilot. So first thing first, you want to learn on a small car, so that's the kite on short line. And as soon as you're a good driver or good kite controller, I will give you the Ferrari, and it's going to be fine. You know, we always and also for the school, you will get my point. You need less kites, that's very important, and you break less kites. So it's important for business also, because kites are expensive, and if you teach directly your beginners with long lines, one, you need more space. Two, you're going to break much more kites, and you risk also to have much more injuries. So it's just negative points. Risky, of course you can do it. Of course it's possible to teach somebody directly on a Ferrari or on a kite with long line. But why to do it when we know there is only disadvantages? So that's something, it's a big, I have to say, for people who listen, sorry, it's something sometimes a bit frustrating for us, because we still, in 2020, see many people teaching on long line, and it's like, guys, why do you do that? It's nonsense. We are tested, we are experienced, we are on your side, we are on the same side, guys. Just use the tools we give you, because it's gonna make your life easier, better for everything, and for the student, because the priority is the student. I talk about the business, which is important, but the first priority is the fun of the student in safety. And short line for the first lesson, we'll know that. And yeah, people still doubt about it, still have sometimes issue. No, I don't want to use that. I don't know if you know the reason why, but I don't have it. So guys, use it more. The shorter, the better.
Yeah, and it's also very important for all instructors to know that the first hour for the student, it's the first impression about the sport. So this is very critical point. So this first hour or two, it will make them decide even to continue kiting, or then they stop and try to find another sport. So it's a very critical point. And if the kite is a little bit too big, or the line is too long, and the wind window is big, and they make a mistake, of course they will make a mistake when you first give them the kite in the hand. And if the kite is flying too fast in the wind window and creating a lot of power and make them lose their balance, and they will be scared. And then they might say, okay, this is nothing for me. But if you give them a short line, no matter what they do, it will not really create that much power anymore. And they will say, okay, that's easy and it's simple. It's not like what I thought. And then they will start to communicate with you and ask you, but the other people are flying longer line. And then you can explain to them, it's a step by step. And then when you have more control, when you have more understanding, and when you feel more comfortable with this, then we move further to the longer line, step by step. And then people will see that you care about their safety and they will not run away from the sport. And what we have to agree on, all of us, that kite surfing, the only disadvantage, we need space. We all need space. So we have to save also space in our spots. And it's easier for you as an instructor not to run 25 meters to reach the kite. You can only run 5 meters to grab the kite.
Yeah, especially at the beginning when you need, because 5 meters will be for a beginner. And so it's much in safety. And as you mentioned, it's important for people to notify, you will learn more by practicing. And if I give you a kite on long line, I will need instructor to grab on the bar many times, to stop the lesson many times, because you will be in danger, and so I will be a bit concerned. While if I give you this 5 meter line, I'm sure nothing's going to happen. You mentioned before the wind window. Maybe some people, they don't know what is the wind window. Is where the kite can fly. If the line are smaller, the wind window is something like this. If the line are huge, it's something like this. So of course, if you have shorter line, it will be less space you use. And as you mentioned also, nowadays, thanks to us, the school, the IKO, in general, the instructors, we have many people teaching at the same time in some spots. Like in Tarifa, I've been working in Tarifa. It was impossible. It will be impossible if everybody teach on long line. There is not enough space. Even if the beach over there is huge, but now it's very crowded. So even for this, it's important.
Sure.
We have Jeff. So let's say good evening from Vietnam. Hey Jeff.
Good evening.
Good evening. And we have Thiago. Thiago is an IKO examiner from Portugal. He's now helping us with the subject that we're going to talk a little bit later. It is an issue for sure, more and more. So probably thinking about more shorter the line, the better. Now with the COVID, even we need more space. Yeah, that's a good point, because many people sometimes they ask, hey, what do you IKO recommend for COVID? First of all, we are not the World Organization of Health, so I'm always saying you need to respect what your country or those organizations say. So that's to start with. That's not our job. But something we always have said, and thanks to short line, you can do that, is like try to not touch the equipment and not touch the students, so easy dependent. So even with COVID now, it's more important, and you can only do that with short line. Because if you do with 20 meter line, and I'm sure you've been teaching with long line because you're from the old generation of kites, and I did too. I'm guilty too.
Yeah, we all learned on long line, and we all teach with long line.
And with long line, you cannot leave your students alone for the first 2-3 hours. You have to grab the harness very slowly, and most of the time, even the bar, which is very bad actually. So you cannot give space. So with the COVID, we all say it needs to be space. So use shorter line, and you don't even need to grab your student on the harness because it cannot fly away.
Yeah, what I can recommend actually to all the teachers, because sometimes they forget about it, after we finish this live, they can log in and they can download the visual plan for the lessons from the IKO. This is really, really good. If they print it, they laminate it small and they put it next to them on their harness. And if they follow this visual lesson plan from the IKO, they will see how useful it is to also let that student do as much as possible so that they are not involved with the equipment. If they follow this, they will find the lessons going nice, easy, and smooth. So they just need to look at the tools is provided by the IKO. It's super tool. I am still using it until now. For me, it's very important to follow this visual lesson plan that makes it very nice, simple, and easy. Just the photos, just by looking for the photos, you will understand step by step what you have to do with your students.
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, the IKO experience comes from many years, many people like me, like you, like Thiago that is on the live also, that have shared this experience and that have tried and then provide feedback, and we constantly evolve. And the lesson plan is something pretty well done because now it's so many years that the steps are pretty clear, very small, and if you really follow them, the progression of the students is just, it's like this, it's supernatural, and at the end, when you reach the famous water staff, people they say for the water staff, you will have all the knowledge, and that student, that kiter, will be alright because he knows what to do, he knows how to do that, and he digs the thing. We always say nowadays, try to touch as less as possible the equipment. Of course, you can do demonstration. Of course, you can take over the kite, but people learn more when they do. So I'm the instructor. Okay, you have to do like this, and now I want you to do. And this again, you can do it much easier with shorter line at the beginning than with long line. With long line, it's impossible to do that.
Yeah, sure. After the teachers start already to do it, they are convinced or not. After a very short time, they come and say, "Yeah, this is like heaven now for teaching, and it makes a lot of progress." So of course, we agree with Thiago here that there is no advantage of teaching with long line. Absolutely. It's only problem, only trouble with the long lines.
That's a discussion I like in a way to have with people that are against short line because, like, man, okay, give me one, at least one, and I will buy a few. But no, there is none. So even from the point of view of the school, less kite, less broken kite. So good point for the instructor. Less stress, less possibility to have an accident for the student. And students learning faster, and also less possibility to break a leg or something on the kite. It's not nice.
Sure.
So guys, use it, and if you never use it, give it a go. Give it a go. There is we all have been teaching me first on long lines. We all have had the leash on the back for many years, and now we know it's much better the other way. So why not doing it?
Yeah, of course.
So we have some many other people. We have Mohamed, good evening. It was very nice live. Hey Mohamed, happy you like it. We have the Powell is an examiner candidate, actually still assistant trainer, but he's done several weeks of examiner training. So he's about to be certified. He could not finish this year, unfortunately, because of COVID, but he will for sure be ready for Poland next year. Hello, Powell. And now we are live. I want to mention that for the first time, we have a new language at IKO, which is Polish. All the contents are being translated. Hopefully one day we will have it in Arabic too. I can say right now that we will have some content in Arabic. The first one will be the posters. The IKO posters are being translated. It's a little bit hard for us because we really I don't speak this language, so we will see the translation and what. But we will start to have things in Arabic, also in Russian and in Chinese, because we're open to the world.
Yeah, of course. And if you need any help with translation in Arabic, of course, I will be here to support and to help. I hope one day to see also the content of the IKO in Arabic. We have more than 400 million people in our region that speak this language. So I think it will be a huge add-on for the IKO to have IKO in Arabic as well. This is also stopping a lot of people here from proceeding. And now that I started now to be with the Pro team, Pro is the assistant trainer. So maybe soon when we make some AITC, and then we can also run and explain things in Arabic for people as well. So this is very good.
That's the goal. My goal, as long as I sit on this office, is to open the IKO to it's always hard on new language because we have to take the technical stuff and things like this. But I'm sure one day soon we will have this in Arabic too. That's personal objective. Chinese, Arabic, Russian, I want to see IKO books in these three languages to really open to the world because those regions are so big and it's so different than the English that it's normal. Many people don't speak English well enough to follow a course, and it's a pity. Because then you cannot really have the IKO if you don't speak English in this country. So we're working on that model.
In the last years, you can see a huge peak in the community in kitesurfing in Egypt. Like a lot of Egyptians, they are started already kiting now, and there are a lot of schools also focus on the local market, and it's growing really, really big in the last 5 years. And you can see a lot of interest for a lot of local and Arabic speaking, also from the other Arab countries. I have a lot of people from other Arab countries that always contacting me and getting information that they want to start schools in many other Arab countries that kite surfing was not really exist there.
Yeah. So we have Marika. Let's say hello, guys. Hello, Marika. Hello.
Hello.
Tiago, that is interacting. Why do you think there is so much resistance from schools? Maybe the brands not making or promoting the short line? That's a pretty good question. Actually, I do not have the answer. We've been talking with several examiners about that. It's of course the brands not making or promoting the short lines. That's for sure. And nowadays I'm happy because I see some, especially Dutchies and also people in Hawaii, they start to use very short lines to do, very short, not but maybe 50 meters line to do some mega loops, more aggressive. So it's good for the image because it's like the leash on the back. At the beginning, everybody put it there because the provider, they were putting it there back then. So unfortunately, there is many people that they will not listen to IKO, they will listen more to what they see on the magazine. So as long as we don't have more support from the brand, it will be hard. Other than that, it's hard for me to understand it, but we're working on it. And we have Marika's story.
No, sure.
I'm going to try to make.
I agree about this brand things. That I believe that all the brands should start now also to provide the schools with a ready short line, so we don't have to always make it homemade in the school and to cut the lines and connect it and do all these things. So it should be also available in the market for the schools to buy it from the brands ready with safety system that is working to make sure, because also this is very important point for a lot of schools that is making short line. They have to make sure with experienced instructor with level 2 or above that is making this lines, because not all the bars in the market you can make it short line or you can double the line.
Yeah, and I'm afraid you're totally right, but I'm afraid I have the answer over there. Unfortunately, the brands, I'm pretty sure they don't really like short line for one reason, because the reason we said before, you need less kites, and so that's not for their personal business. It's not as good. So that might be. I don't know. I don't want to fight against the brands. And anything like this, but it might be something like this.
We try to push them that they provide, let's call it a schooling bar. So they have to. It's a new product that they can sell to the market, a schooling bar, and the schools can buy it. It's not for the kiters to buy, but just for the schools to buy, like schooling bar.
Duotone, they are seen many places in the world. They are really followed on social media. So if you have a good contact with them,
sure. Sure, we can let them know, and they can study these things and then see if it makes sense. Then they sure will help. It's in their interest also that the sport is growing.
So we have more questions, people interacting. So I'm going to go fast through this so everybody is listening. We have Guido, let's say hello. He's an assistant trainer, travel the world.
Hi, Guido.
He's from Italy. We have Tiago, why you should not use the leash on the back with first initial test? Yeah, so I know this video from Tiago. Tiago does also some stuff on YouTube, and it's a great video. He's pulling somebody in the water with the boat, and he does it with the leash attached in several positions, so you really can see what will happen. It's a really good video for the why on the leash on the back versus leash on the front. We have Mon Iron, this short line issue we talked about many times. What is new for IKO? Yeah, I'm sorry we repeat so much about the short line, but it's because still people they don't use it, many people. So we're going to still continue. It's the same with the leash at the back. And sometimes on social media, with the what's wrong, people complain a bit, I always leash at the back. Yeah, because if I go right now in Canary Beach over there, 50 meters,
it's not possible.
I will see half of the people or more with leash at the back and long line. So that's why we see, I'm sorry, of course, for somebody that does it correctly, like all those guys, they just repeat the same thing, but it's because we still need to have people to follow more. And actually, to answer your question more, Ian, sorry for pronunciation, sometimes I don't know if it's well pronunciated. Can you answer? It's like, so the new thing, maybe like it's no kite at 12 anymore. So it's the perfect point and not a place to stop the kite. So now we say back to students, you never keep your kite at 12.
Yeah.
Why 12? Maybe you can answer this question.
Sure. So in the beginning of teaching, all the people, they said, just keep your kite at 12, keep your kite at 12. But also it's different from one place to another. You can have also some gusty wind and the kite can back stall or front stall. And this is not really the safest place for you. The kite will be really unstable and it will make you also lose control, and it can power up directly after this being back stall or front stall. So the best is usually to keep it 45 degrees to the water side, and you can control it with just one hand, and then you have the other hand is free where you can carry your board, and it's easy to control a kite just with one hand. So you can pull and you can push with this hand, and then you have the other hand free. This other hand that you have free, it's very easy for you to carry a board or even to use your quick release in case you need to release your kite. So
what I was saying also is like you need to teach the beginner to do that too. And do we experience people at the kite at 12 all the time? No.
No.
Never. Because either you are kiting, so your kite is somewhere on the right, somewhere on the left, or either you are walking with your board because you get into the water or out, and the same, you will be fighting with one hand. So why being teaching at the kite all the time at 12? So that's just a passing position, as said. So we're going to continue this with the interaction. Also, shoreline, don't break the kite that much. Yeah, we mentioned that before, but very important for people. It's also in terms of business, very interesting for the school. You will break less kites, and when we start breaking too much kites at some point of high season, there is no more business. So I hate to talk about business sometimes, but it's an issue for school, and with your 70,000 kites, you don't want to break them, right?
Yeah, but also for the students, when you teach a student with long line and the student is crashing the kite and breaking it in two pieces, they feel ashamed and they feel like, oh, I destroyed the equipment from the school, and then they start asking how much is the kite, and then they think about it. Okay, this is very expensive. If it's very easy like this to break a kite, they might also stop kiting, and they say, okay, this is too expensive sport if every time I break a kite. So people, they have to think from so many different point of view that when you teach with short line, and if you're to avoid your student breaking a kite, this is also very good that they continue kiting, so that they don't feel embarrassed. They don't see that, okay, I need to break a kite every week or something. So it's very important to teach with short line, not just for the school to not lose a lot and break a lot of kite, but also for the student, that they can like the sport more and they see that it's not dangerous, it's not expensive.
As we mentioned a couple of times yet, there is no advantages. So guys, use it more, shorter, and we have more still there. Duotone already produced 16 meters and 19 meters north as well. So yes, you're right. When I said before, the brand, they don't do it, they do it a little bit. But what we would like for me, 15 meters, yes, it's shorter line, but it will be shorter line for the last body drive and maybe the first water start.
Yeah, we talk more about 10 meter, 6 meter line, 5 meter line, so this you will not find that a company is producing and selling ready for school, just schooling bar.
Yeah, because then people will say, no, but this is not Calgary. Yeah, of course, when you ride, you need longer line, that's for sure. I will totally agree on that, even if you can ride on shorter line. But yeah, again, it's for school, guys. For school, for the beginners, for day 1, day 2, maybe day 3 of the lessons, and then that's it. Then we are on normal lines, 18, 20, 22 meters, and the life is all right. We are not saying to kite all the time with short line, and don't misunderstand this. We have every exploration bar comply with the IKO LDK SA teaching standard with the low Y on the center line, allowing for a quick single line flag out and connection to 9 plus 14 on the new one. But the whole correction was 4, 5, and 14, which is better. Yeah, that would be the for me, I remember once that it was homemade. And now I used that bar somewhere in the past, but I have my personal bar. It was 5, 10, 15, 20, 22. That's it. You You can really adapt depending on the size of your student, the size of the kite you use, the wind, and the exercise you're doing, and it's amazing. And with experience, adding removing those extension it's so fast, and you become a better instructor also. I have a good friend known as Mariano Lorenzetti, who is an IKO very well-known examiner. He always says, and it's true, having your own bar as an instructor is like a chef in a restaurant who has his own knife, because you know the knife, and you're going to cut the sushi very much better. You don't expect somebody to give you a knife because you're a chef from Michelin books. So the same as an instructor. Mohamed would give you very brand new kites and Duotone and stuff, but you are a very good instructor. Come with your bar with extension, and then you're going to adapt yourself to any kites Mohamed is going to give you, and you're not going to break them also, which is a better issue. And you like the nice things, no? It's a good one, eh?
Yeah.
We have still, so we have, and continue on the comments. Marika, my Kitesurf is with 18 meters line, and love it. Yeah, nowadays, people start riding with a bit shorter lines than before. And it's better, especially if you go wave riding aggressively, also wake style, also powerful, mega loop. It's much more reactive, and it gives you extra push, no? Yeah. We have just seen there is a French brand that makes special school bar. I know it's a question of an affirmation. If it's a question, I have not the answer. As far as I know, the only one produced is Airush as said Guido, but maybe I don't know everything. Marika again, my Kitesurf, no, this one we already have it. I have a question for you from Guido. What is your opinion about handle on the 3D board? I know why he's asking.
Yeah, well, the handle is definitely something useful that you can have it on the board. That makes it easy to carry the board around, and also when you're in the water. Of course, you can use the twin tip board without the handle. You can use the front one of the strap instead of using the handle, but why not? If you have two straps and suddenly you have another strap in the middle. I remember my first board I was putting, before the handle was even exist, I was putting 3 foot straps from windsurfing on the board. I was using the center one as a handle before there was any kite board in the market that is having a handle. So it's useful. It helps to use it. Some of the handles is a little bit hard, and this is one of the things also that it's nice to have it soft to be more safe when you hit it or something. But having a handle on the board, I like having the handle on the boards when I teach to give to the students.
I know why Guido asked this. It was a bit tricky because he was expecting maybe the other side of the opinion. It's because also, and actually Thiago on the live made a pretty good video about it to demonstrate that of course it can help you the handle, but without actually it will work very well only using the strap. But it's always again, it's something I like about IKO because we have many experienced people that really think it's true. They really test it, like Thiago, like Guido, like myself, and at the end, we have more and more ideas that every time we do an update on a new manual, we put all those ideas inside those contents. And I always recommend to anyone, even an experienced instructor, go through the new manuals just to have a refresh, because we share tips like this, tips from great guys who really take the time and have the experience to think it through. And invent new stuff. So guys, it's all there. It's all for you if you're a member.
Yeah.
We have several. Why do you need to carry your board with the handle? What about the other board? Anyway, but I will send you to the video of Thiago on his YouTube channel. Over there, he has the answer, and he really tests it. So again, it's a good thing. And with this, it works on every board, right? I'm sorry, I go.
Yeah, sure.
Quickly because we have many comments. Jackson is back to say I use the 7 meter for distillery, 12 for body drag, and 15 for first water start. That's pretty much what I can say. That's the best.
This is very good, of course. This is like a good sizes, but also it's different from one spot to another. Depends how strong is the wind on the spot and all this and the area. So it's good, very good for your spot. And all the people, they should feel free to use what is best for their location, for their spot, and if any IKO school, they must have level 2 or above instructor. So, and they should have enough experience also to decide what's the best for this location and what is the best size to use for the discovery and for later on.
Yeah, what we say, the setup of Jeff, I like it. It's what I would use in most spots and most students for sure. And what IKO says, like for as long as the student is not reached the end of level 2, we want trainer kite. And what is a trainer kite? Is not only the two-line kite, that could be also, but not always.
No.
But if the kite does not develop any more power, and not enough power to pull or unbalance the student. And with that, your effect is, of course, sometimes in some spots the wind is very light. You might start directly with a bit longer line and say in 10, 12, but not more.
Yeah.
For the very first flight. And most of the time when you have 15 plus knots, start with a 5 or 7, and you'll see it's a life changing.
Sure.
So short line, we have several that share the YouTube video, but a little bit there for the people who want it. For teaching, you should have used the unload with not helping. Well, then you have a look at the video on Mohamed. And the angle was actually, that's true for the board of tricks, that's true originally. And adapt to earlier months, that's what for the last comment we were having. But yeah, that's what also we teach. We teach the instructor to teach the students to be independent. And we also, as examiner or assistant trainer, train the instructor to be independent. Because again, if I am an instructor and I'm working here at Cabaret, or I come tomorrow at Chef Center and work there, the same sport, but it's not exactly the same way to teach. And I will have to adapt. If I'm a good instructor, I'm adapting, the lesson will be better. And if I don't, then I'm not as good as I pretend to be.
Of course, yes.
And because like the main difference here we have, for example, compared to you, you mentioned before that you have no waves. Here it's pretty much all we have.
Yes, that's what we miss here. We just have plenty of flat water, standing area. It's very easy condition. So like I would say Egypt could be the school of the world that can produce a lot of kiters around the world that the people can start and then they can discover and travel all around. But for all the people new to the sport, it will be very difficult to find a more easy condition than what we have here to learn. And also, especially when you fly to here, then it's really reliable about the weather condition that you'll have warm, sun, and wind all over a year, which is very good for the kiter.
And that's important for people like me that come from up north. When you go hit the water, it's really much more pleasant when it's warm and windy. Then the opposite, of course, you can kite when it's cold, but it's much better when you have a bit of a sun and some temperature in the water too. And as you mentioned before, your water temperature is 21 all year long. For people in Cabaret, it's a bit cold because over here it's 28, 29. And yeah, those are two sport difference. That's also a good advice to give to anyone. My advice for any instructor watching this, like when you finish a lesson with your students and it's kiting well at your place, tell them, hey guys, very well done, but be careful on the next spot you travel. It might be different, so take it easy, ask the locals, as you said before, Mohamed, go to the school. Yeah. Maybe you don't need to take another lesson. Maybe yes, it depends on your level, but maybe you don't need. But of course, some assessments you will need. For example, Thiago here that was with us, his spot is teaching mainly in a river. And a river that is close to the ocean, so the tide, because in Portugal the tides are huge, have a direct impact on his lesson, because 6 hours you have the water going in that direction, and 6 hours later the water going that direction. And I remember teaching there, and if you don't know, it's tricky because at some point you lose your board and the board doesn't move, because with the wind and the current, it stays pretty much at the same place, so that's cool.
Of course.
Later, this is the opposite that happens. So you lose your board and you see the board as if there is a little motor underneath, and it goes away, and you really have to run to catch it back because it goes to the ocean. So that's really important. Of course, if you don't know this, as you said before, even if you're experienced, you may try to do a double handle pass, you lose your board, and the board is not in the water on the ocean just because you didn't ask the local school, Tiago in this case, hey, if there's anything I should know about this spot? Yes. It's a really nice flat water spot for trips, but be careful because right now the current is in the right side, but maybe in 2 hours it could be a bit more complicated to rescue your boat, so maybe you try your trip now, and in 2 hours you just ride away.
Yeah.
And then you know.
Very simple like that, and this is just 5 minutes on the beach, chatting with a station or chatting with a local kiter on the beach, and then he will give you all the information you need.
And they will be happy because I'm sure you will be with me on this. There is nothing more annoying than when you are working, you are on your spot, you take care of everything, but you cannot see everyone, and at some point somebody is arriving from outside, doesn't ask anybody, set up the kite, and 5 minutes later, he is into an accident of some sort. And it's like, man, at least I need a rider, a good rider, average good rider. And I say, man, why didn't you just ask? Now you've broken the kite, now you have one of my children that is unhappy, now there is an accident in front of my school, it's not good for my publicity. And it's always the same kind of people who don't really ask.
No, but this is also another thing which is very good about the kite community, also for the people who are not kiter, that they are watching us. So it's a sport that is being done by one guy in the water or one person in the water, but in the same time it's very socializing sport, you know. So you get on the beach and then you find all the people talking together, getting to know each other, sharing their experience, sharing the knowledge, and also giving each other advices about which size to take and where to go and where is the nicest place. So it's very socializing sport, and the community is really great, and it's one of the biggest things that is actually pushing the sport forward is the community around kite surfing. So
very true, and it's very pleasant. Many people when they start kiting, they're happy to see that wow, everybody is nice, and it's something very true, and I can compare because I'm also I really like also to surf, and it's the opposite in the surf community. Surf is like everybody is alone, he wants his own way, he's not sharing the tricks, not sharing the secret spots, he's like not welcoming beginner at the beach. It's a bit frustrating when you start to talk like this. On the other hand, kite is the other way around, so it's very, you make friends easily.
I believe kiting was born like this because you always wanted to go to the beach and you have to be friendly to everybody because you need somebody to hold the kite up for you to launch it or to land it. So the sport was born with very friendly atmosphere and people helping each other, watching for each other when you're in the water, and you always need somebody to assist you and to help you on the beach, and this creates this vibe.
No, you can do with your experience, you can do self-launching, self-landing, do it on your own for sure, but it's always easier to have people helping you. So yeah, that's probably one of the reasons, is because you need, especially when you are a beginner, that's 100% you need somebody at the beach to help you. So that might be one of the main reasons,
Yeah.
Very well. So anything else you wish to add, because we already reached the hour. Thanks to all the guys and girls that followed and asked questions. Now they seem a little bit more quiet, so we're reaching the end of this live. Anything else you want to share with us before we cut the transmission, Mohamed?
Yeah, I would like to share to all the guys watching us now or will watch this later also for our Egyptian community, that we like also to support the community and to push more and more, and we would like to offer for people who would like to become assistant instructor. So I'm gonna give a very good offer very soon, so just get in touch, and I'm gonna waive my fees for the first 8 people who will be booking the assistant instructor course. So for all the Egyptians who would like to become instructors, I'll give you great support. I'm gonna waive my fees and welcome all of you to help you to become instructors as well, to join us.
So guys, I will really push you to contact, because I guess it's the first training, so it will be only 8 people. So if I would be you, I will contact right away. No, the phone shall be ringing right now.
Yeah.
Usually you don't have this worldwide. So when you have it, jump on it.
Yeah, sure. And so I'm inviting anyone who's hoping or wishing or having the dream to become an instructor and having any issue in the way for the language, for any other things, just to get in contact with me, and then we can find a way together to fix it and to make his dream come true and become an IKO instructor soon.
Very nice. Well, on my side, it's everything. We have several that see you guys. Great seeing you. All the best. Stay safe. It's always a pleasure.
You too, Diego.
We'd
like to visit your place soon when this COVID is finished as well to see.
It's a really great place, Portugal. Let's see the Duotone. There is a nice guy, and on one side you have the river, so it's super flat, like
yeah,
this.
And the wave.
It's Portugal, so it's all right. And on the other side you have the waves, because Portugal, well, it's known now. We know that over there have some pretty big babies.
Yeah, the only place I actually experienced wave was in Australia. So this is the only place where I have seen the big waves, and hopefully then we visit in Portugal, and then we see the school, and we see the spot, and we kite in both flat water and waves as well.
It's really definitely a place I recommend. Esposende, Portugal, a bit north of Oporto, and the north of Portugal. And food, wow.
Yeah, we're gonna...
It's a good time to say hello and bye-bye. We didn't wait for the COVID for that, but now we didn't need to touch. And with that also, it's something new thanks to the COVID, because now right now we have, you and I think we are pretty safe, social distance security between you and I. Yeah? There is pretty much an ocean and the whole Africa. So it's all right.
Cool.
We have several, still welcome, pleasure, and bye-bye, and then you send the link. I guess this link, the very last one, is on his post. And you can visit also Mohamed Duotone Pro Center and Gouna anytime for the people who just arrived. He mentioned before, you can rewatch the live. He mentioned before that it's still easy to come even with the COVID situation.
So, yeah, I will share the link below on the live later for the people who like to see the place and see the Gouna, all about Gouna, about the Kazakh Hook Hotel here, and about Duotone Pro Center Gouna. Complete new concept, beautiful luxury, exclusive, and we invite all the people to spend a beautiful holiday, a new era of water sports, and it's a new complete concept and a new product that you can be really enjoying during your holiday here.
Perfect, Mohamed. I'm going to say bye to you and everybody. It was a pleasure.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for watching, and looking forward to meet all of you soon in person.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.